TDS has had a long history of buffs and nerfs for towers, but some literally were just too strong. At some point or another, pretty much every tower was good at the game at some point, some place in time, but there were a lot that just broke the game in their time and had to be nerfed immediately. I feel like a good starting point of this would be... Today, we think of Demoman as just kind of alright. It's a pretty decent splash tower, and it's honestly great for low levels, but there's just no sauce to him. However, if we go back to TDS's beta period, he was just an absolute monster. He was just everybody. Everyone was using him back then, and if you just spam Demoman, you would create the literal sun, and every enemy would just be evaporated. Bosses stood no chance, and it dominated the meta for a little while. The big nerf hammer would hit it though, and it would suffer through a fire rate bug disease for a while. I mean, Demoman was a great tower, but back then also was... The modern freezer is pretty good. In my opinion, a lot of the other ice towers are better, but it's still really viable. But just like Demoman in the beta period, it was different. If you didn't bring freezer, you practically wouldn't win the SVOT event. Its ability was really good. Like, I'm talking really, really good. The reason why it was King Von levels of OP is that it could legit freeze bosses. This means if you had enough of them, you could just infinitely freeze bosses and just chip them away. Just like Demoman though, Freezer was nerfed and the ability no longer froze bosses. Power creep would also eventually get to the Freezer with the introduction of other ice towers. Now going into the Mega era, the tower that defined it was... And for a good reason. This tower was crazy back then. Unlike the preference farming meta we have now, where both things are viable, back then it was just all Cowboy. Mainly Golden Cowboy, but really both. Basically, you just didn't need to worry about money when using this tower, or defense. Its defense was so good, and its shots made so much money that, I don't know, you could honestly just jerk off all game. While Cowboy dominated the entire Mega era, there was one tower in this era that legitimately just broke the game when it released. Probably the most broken tower of all time, to be honest, and that would be... This tower was probably the best tower that you could actually get in TDS history. Let me just tell y'all about this level of buffoonery that was this tower. This thing had pierce damage, only cost 200, as well as having some of the cheapest upgrades in the game. Huge range, and the damage was just crazy. This thing would shred bosses in 0.2 seconds, and all you do is just spam them everywhere. It's perfect for early game and just demolishes the late game. Now, they saw how OP this tower was and nerfed it immediately. Like, literally immediately. It was so broken, these stats were only for a day. That didn't stop it. It still mostly dominated everything because despite some of the nerfs it got, it still just absolutely railed every enemy. This lasted about like 2 weeks. This kind of wasn't enough to do it, but Holiday Archer's fate was sealed when Hardcore Beta came out. It was changed into Archer and genuinely became one of the worst towers of that era. Progressing into Hardcore Beta though, I mean, I feel like this was an obvious inclusion. This thing pretty much dominated as it was the only gem tower, and it really just out DPS'd every other tower. The only thing that was comparable was Golden Mini, but Excel was still better. And yeah, Ranger was there, but after you beat Hardcore and got Accelerator, realistically, which one would you rather use? Spam enough of them late game, and any boss would just simply get melted. I mean, it works the same now, it's just back then it was slightly better and had really no other competition. Going into the modern day, everything was been kind of balanced, but one event tower stood out from the rest. This, at its peak, was probably the best support tower in the game. Basically, it give Firework buff and buff give tower stuff. I mean, if you're a nerd, you could look here, but Firework buff good and it give to tower. Firework Technician and Shotgunner were probably the best combo in the game at some point, and it kind of just shredded everything. But like all the other towers before it would get nerfed, it was still great, but then they just didn't allow the combo because TDS hates fun. Toxic Gunner in the Overhaul era was also up there because there was this glitch which it made enemies go like the speed of the slowest sperm. Following the 2020 Halloween event, there was a lot of hype for Toxic Gunner, and when it came out, it did not disappoint. This tower practically just made the Frost event a breeze, as it didn't allow any enemies to get past. You just kind of place some of them here, and you probably just won. Well, you would have probably won anyway, because that event was just easy as shit. Anyway, this thing was good all around. Despite the glitch kind of carrying this tower, its stats were also really good and was just basically a minigunner, but slightly worse. I feel like the downfall for this tower is kind of obvious though. With all these other event towers, it got nerfed and the glitch was patched. This tower is also up there with the most broken of all time. Basically, the reason why this was so broken on release is because of the confusion bomb specifically. All these others are just low-key trash, but this bomb was so broken. It basically made bosses go backwards, and they really couldn't do anything about it. They went backwards for a while, and then when they started walking forwards again, the Jester would just hit them with another bomb that would just make them go back again, just like an infinite loop. Obviously, this is abused, and at the time, this was definitely the best tower in the game, possibly even rivaling Firework Technician for best support in history. However, like every other event tower, I guess, this was just quickly nerfed, and this tower became just alright, I guess. Before the video ends though, I'd like to throw in some honorable mentions. Firstly, we got Outlaw. Now, Outlaw was a really good tower back then. Like, that shit was gas. It made the purple sun, and it was honestly just the best tower around. But I wouldn't really put it into like game-breakingly good. You still had to like grind for it a lot, and it was a cliff tower. So I don't know. I don't think it's really game-breaking. Same goes with Gladiator in the Mega era. It was really used in every speedrun and dominated early game. It would just shred anything that would come out of the tunnel. But that's honestly about it, and its fall off late game was definitely there. And so those were some towers that were in a league of their own. And while there's some I was gonna mention, they didn't really compare to these. TDS is always getting new towers and reworks and stuff, so I'm sure more towers will be broken in the future as the game continues to evolve. Also, probably new event towers will be busted and then get nerfed to the ground for easy profit. Just saying, that was low-key a lot of the towers in this video and some of the towers I was gonna mention. Ugh. But yeah, what are y'all's thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, bye.